Today on Strangerous, Em and I will be talking to our friend Joe Diamond, magician, mentalist, and guy who hacked the Pentagon. So this podcast should be listened to only on a need-to-know basis. Let's get started. All right. Now, Joe, you told me that you had hacked the Pentagon without a computer. There are a lot of problematic things in that statement, a lot of questionable things.
Allegedly.
I don't know where to start.
To be clear, I have never claimed to have done this. Other people have claimed it for me. Maybe clear about that, first of all.
Okay.
Second of all, my friend Bill Cook has a saying, when life gives you lemons, fuck the milkman.
What?
What?
First of all, milkman.
What?
Yeah, that is an antiquated mid-20th century practice where men in white would drive around and deliver fresh dairy to homes every morning. That happened.
There's no way these children know what a milkman is.
I'm explaining it to them. That's a milkman. But apparently, if life gives you lemons, you are supposed to have sexual congress with the milkman.
But you can't have a saying if no one knows what part of this saying is about.
There are a lot of things in this saying that I have questions about. Like milkman. Nobody knows what that is.
Nobody knows what a milkman is. Also, if you're getting just like sex as a part of your job, just like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of lemons out there right now. Life is full of lemons. Most people's lives are like 85% lemons right now. How can I sign up to be a milkman?
It's true. I want to bring. Should we bring back milkman?
No. That's creepy. It's
creepy?
That's creepy. Why is he only bringing you milk? Why doesn't he bring me other staples like margarine?
Coffee?
Children's breakfast cereal? Why is there no cereal man?
Why is there no donut man who just shows up and is like, hey, there's an apple fritter on the doorstep?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why only milk? I mean, I know why milk. I know what milkmen are because I'm 1,000,000 years old. I'm Precambrian. But there's no children out here who know what a milkman is, and there's no milkman anymore. But I'm supposed to find one and fuck him if life is giving me lemons. And brother, life is so much lemons.
There's so many lemons. And
there's so many lemons.
And there's no milkmen to fuck.
I don't know how you're supposed to accomplish these goals, is what I'm saying.
Let's continue.
And this has nothing to do with the story at all.
So, I did not plan this. This is just what happened. This is just what happens to me. Kind of like meeting Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees, who ironically Bill Cook introduced me to, but that's a story for another time.
Okay, you know I was going to talk about this, right?
I know that you really want to talk about Ari Lehman. And in fact, in our first round, our first draft of recording a podcast together, which I think is long overdue because we have the best conversations.
We do.
And
they're fascinating.
we vibe. But I was like, uh-oh. He mentioned some fucking obscure Jason Voorhees fact.
Yeah.
You desperately want to talk about Ari Lehman, so go for it. Ari Lehman.
Just give me a second. Ari Lehman. Okay. So, spoiler for a movie, 50 years old or whatever, 40 years old.
Yeah.
In 1980, Ari Lehman. So, in the original Friday the 13th in 1980, Jason Voorhees is not really in it. Everybody knows that, right? It's Jason's mom. Jason's in it just for like a second, like little flashbacks, and then he hops out of the water and grabs the lady out of the boat at the end of the first film.
So
and
rude.
They had a kid who was all dressed up in prosthetics to, look deformed and like he'd been hanging out on the bottom of a lake.
So he's a lake monster.
And that was Ari Lehman
Okay.
as a child. And he now travels around. He's a Brooklyn guy. He's a musician. He travels around letting everyone know He was the first Jason.
Did he do anything else acting-wise after that? Like, was he the first Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or, like, the first...
No, he didn't parlay that into anything like, like Deep Roy or the guy that played Gollum, Andy Serkis. No, he started a punk band.
Talk about somebody who capitalized on their moment. That Gollum motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's out there. He's
Ari
doing
Lehman,
it.
Ari Lehman is pushing for the same thing.
But not so much.
He has a punk band. Guess what the punk band's called?
Jason and the Voorheeses.
That's pretty good. It's actually called First Jason.
Okay. I mean, I think that the thing that I said in our first draft was you got to ride that tiger till the claws come off. And that's what you got to do. If you're famous, if you're famous for the thing, baby, you ride that tiger till the claws come off.
Every last drop of blood from that stone.
Squeeze it.
Let's go.
Milk it.
So I'm a regular on a morning radio show here on the Wisconsin-Illinois border. The radio station is called 95 Will Rock. It's spelled WIIL because Wisconsin/Illinois, Will. And in the morning show, they've had me on to freak out the hosts. And they always are like, oh my God, Joe Diamond, you're the devil. You do this, you do that. Oh my God. Well, a few years ago, and there's video of this on YouTube if anyone wants to go on and look it up. I unlocked a radio host's iPhone. Now, I don't do this anymore, because I don't want to touch people's gross phones, all that science of phones being grosser than toilet seats. Ew. But also, I don't want to, and I used to feel like, it's people's phone, they can change it easily, all this stuff. Also, most people don't know their PIN code on their phone anymore because it's got the facial recognition. They don't use it that often. And this is the main reason.
I don't think that you should use the facial recognition on your iPhone anymore, bro.
Yeah. That's accurate, right? Especially they tell you when you're dealing with the United States Customs Department.
They have no bosses. They're their own bosses.
Yeah. And they want into your phone mostly just to prove that because we can.
Yeah, dude.
We're in charge. And so they'll just hold it up and unlock it. So if you turn off the biometrics and facial recognition, they're not going to shoot you up with sodium pentothal to determine what your 4-digit PIN is.
Also, doesn't anybody watch TV no more? All you have to do is cut off your hand and then take it to the thing and bloop your fingerprint onto the fingerprint hole. And they have all your treasures.
Yeah, cut off your hand, bloop your fingerprint into the fingerprint hole, and they get all your treasures. Yeah.
That's what they do. Watch an episode of a show that's on, streaming services. They'll peel
any show.
Any show. And they'll peel open your eyelids and then they'll hold it up or show your dead face to your phone, and your phone will just be like, here, criminal, have all of my secrets and treasures.
Yeah. If you're going to try to unlock somebody's phone, take their phone and their severed head.
Exactly. That's all you do. And so I don't know why people are out here in the year of our Beyonce 2023 using biometrics to unlock your phone. Get a PIN. That's your secret. That's your private business. No one is going to steal from you.
I wonder if the biometric facial scan thing would actually unlock a person if they were dead. Because a lot of those look at you and they detect pulse, they detect the temperature of your face and the blood in your capillaries and stuff like that.
No.
Yes. Yeah. It's not just the shape. It's really detailed. And so I wonder if a dead version of a person would work because I think that's to keep masks and prosthetics from working. I don't know. But they're trying to be very, very accurate. China, for instance, not to get off on too much of a tangent, China, with all of their ubiquitous surveillance, actually has 10 different criteria that they use to identify people with camera recognition, like their gait, their eye color, their face, their buttholes.
Their buttholes. Your chocolate starfish. Anyway, I just wanted to remind you that that's what a podcast is tangents. So do it, brother. Second of all, China. Woof.
Yeah.
There's some people that do not regard your secrets or your treasures as
No.
your secrets or your treasures.
That belongs to the state.
Yeah. So, yeah, just don't use biometrics. Who can't remember like a 4-digit number? Just get some memento shit on your arm or something.
Get it tattooed.
but like in a secret way that only you remember, like a mnemonic device.
But then what if you have to change your PIN?
Get another tattoo. They're easy.
Well, most people think, okay, I'm going to keep I'm going to use a storage locker, like a virtual password locker, or maybe a little book or something like that. But you don't want to forget it. You want to tattoo it.
I don't. Yeah, forever. Okay, moving on.
This is the number one reason why I don't guess people's current PIN codes anymore. I often think of an old code, but like for my shows and stuff. So I'm on the radio. I unlock her iPhone. The video of this and the clip of this, they start replaying it. So it doesn't really go viral, but I become very well known for this in the area. So much so that I'm at gigs and people go, "Oh, you're that guy?" And people are just handing me their phones and saying, "Guess my iPhone code. Guess my code. Unlock my phone." So this is like 2017, 2018 when all this has happened. Cut to the next time I'm on that radio show. They replay the clip. They talk about, "Oh yeah, Joe came in and unlocked Emily's iPhone." And they have callers calling in. So a woman calls in from an area code that's not local. You can see the area code up on the screen. They answer it. "Hi, my name's Susan. I'm calling from the Pentagon."
This escalated. That's a call that you get. This is the Pentagon. If someone says, "I'm calling from the Pentagon," like, why would you believe them?
Also, I don't know that I'm terribly impressed.
No? Why not?
No, because all I see when I think of the Pentagon is Spies Like Us. Like, I just see Dan Aykroyd, feet up on his desk in the basement, polishing some shoes, doing a Jenga by himself, just lonely Jenga. I see Chevy Chase watching a Ronald Reagan movie. I mean, okay, sure, some Bourne Identity shit is happening somewhere in that building, but there's also somebody scraping the gum off from underneath the tables.
The Pentagon has about 23,000 military and civilian employees.
Exactly. They can't all be winners.
Some of those people are dummies. Like,
some of those people are dummies and losers. I don't know that I'm terribly impressed. Also, like, people are pwning us a lot. Like, we get pwned a lot as a country. So I just feel like there's a mix.
It's true. I'm calling from the Pentagon. Oh, really? What department do you work in?
Oh, really?
I work at the Jersey Mike's in the Pentagon commissary.
Yeah, you're making tuna sandwiches. Don't lie.
I mean, which is fine. Somebody making tuna sandwiches at Jersey Mike's, I guarantee you, is smarter and more capable than some of the people actually working at the Pentagon.
Yes, there are people in a basement somewhere just doing some stuff, right? They're trying to be GLG 20s. That's all I can see. So I don't know that I'm terribly impressed that she's from the Pentagon. But I love the aura in this story that there is a mysterious government employee trying to contact a psychic. That is so Strangerous.
If I lived in D.C., I would make all of my calls from the lobby of the Pentagon. I would be like, "Yeah, hi, Domino's. Yeah, I'm calling from the Pentagon.
Yeah.
I need a pepperoni pizza. I'm calling from the Pentagon. No, don't deliver to the Pentagon. I'm not supposed to be here. They're asking me to leave repeatedly."
This is Jason Murphy from the Pentagon.
That's right.
From the sidewalk in front of the Pentagon.
I'm calling from the Chipotle across the street from the Pentagon.
Yeah, the tuna sandwich at the Jersey Mike's is to be believed.
Let's continue.
Okay.
Now, first thought, this is morning radio. This is a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Google the area code Washington, D.C. Google the number Sure enough, it's a desk number. We don't know her extension, but yes, it is a desk number for a government building in Washington, D.C.
So you're able to validate it and verify it as much as you possibly
it
can.
is. It is. Yeah, it's at least a government building in Washington, D.C. Just by Googling the number. So because that's what the host thinks. They get prank calls, they get weirdos. That's the first thing the host does. That's the host's job. And oh yeah, okay. So they're rolling with it, Oh, Susan, how'd you know about this? You listen to everyone's conversations? Ha ha ha. No, I grew up in the Midwest, and I listen to you guys on my computer here at my desk every morning. I fought to have my headphones in because I know I get cranky if I don't listen to you guys. Like, oh, that's nice. So how can we help you, Susan? I want to talk to the mind reader.
Okay, so first of all, Susan is fighting her employees for shit. So Susan is not some scrappy little intern. Susan's got authority. Susan gets to listen to her favorite radio show.
Okay. So you think she's got authority because she gets to listen to Joe?
Well, she had an argument with a supervisor, and they were like, don't fuck with Susan in her morning programs, cheese and crackers.
There you go. Yeah. Susan, they don't want some sort of international blow up.
No.
Because Susan didn't get to listen to the Southern Wisconsin radio show.
the Will Rock. She didn't get to listen to Will Rock. She's going to be off of her Will Rock.
It could be an international incident.
How do we know? Like, officially, the position is that Susan gets to do what she wants with her morning radio shows.
Maybe Susan is a part of Treadstone.
Do you know what Susan wanted to do with her time, with her allowance?
Was it Wetworks?
She wanted to call up a psychic, dude.
Oh, yeah. She wanted to call up a psychic.
Susan at the Pentagon. Don't know where in the Pentagon or what Susan's doing, but
she's trying to find psychics by canvassing the radio stations.
She's regularly listening to Will Rock, and she's like, okay, I'm finally gonna give him a call. All these years of listening, they've got a psychic on. Okay, I'm calling. Hey, this is Susan from the Pentagon. That's intense, bro.
That's a lot.
She wants to talk to a psychic. The Pentagon lady wants to talk to a psychic. This story is getting really good.
Continuing.
For context, this is when front page news is whether or not Apple should unlock an iPhone that used to belong to a terrorist cell for the FBI. That is front page news while this conversation is happening at 9 a.m.
So you're
on live radio.
So you're theoretically being asked by a government official.
Theoretically, allegedly.
On how to violate someone's privacy.
She never said that. All she said, if Susan was her real name, Joe, do you need to be in the same room with someone in order to do that PIN code thing? Now,
next thing you know, Joe is on a flight to Guantanamo.
Now, part of me is like, well, the milkman's at the door and he ain't wearing no pants.
That sounds threatening.
Here we go with this milkman again.
Why is he there? And why is he not wearing pants? I'm concerned.
Please, sir. This is a public area.
I mean, are milkmen known for being weird perverts?
I mean, everyone is having sex with them, so...
I mean, apparently. And is milk, quote-unquote, milk, is that a metaphor?
Gross. But really, like, Susan shouldn't be using psychic powers, I think. I think if the Pentagon is going to start using psychic powers, we're going to have to get some legislation in place. Because I don't want my secrets known by Susan or any other GLT-20s. I want my secrets to stay secret.
I agree. But bad news, the government has been trying to make mind reading work for a very long time.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really have a ton of secrets. They're just embarrassing stories that play on a loop. in my mind. So it's not like, and I will gladly share them. I've thought about making an Instagram account where I just talk about every embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me or that I have done in public. Like, I am perpetrating the embarrassing shit. So I don't really know that I have secrets so much as just like continual humiliation.
I don't even know that you need the Pentagon to reveal your secrets. It sounds
Exactly.
like you just want to tell everyone and like rub salt in your own wound.
Exactly. Please share the humiliation. Like, I feel like if I get it out like a blister, that it'll be able to heal over into a callus and I just will stop giving a shit. But Susan's out here trying to make psychic powers like a governmental function, and I just don't know if I can agree with that.
You are opposed to the government's more Fordian efforts at cracking our privacy?
Yeah, I think that they should just stick to like getting a warrant and looking for, I don't know, drugs, like the TV shows.
Do psychics need warrants to poke into your brain?
Exactly. If they're going to poke around in your brain, they should get a warrant.
Get that tattooed on the back of your neck. Come back with a warrant.
That's just one of my tattoos. I've got my PIN number on my right hand.
And come back with a warrant on the other.
And come back with a warrant on the other.
But is the milkman wearing a wire? Like, this is what I'm thinking, So I'm like, tread lightly. So, but it's also morning radio, and I gotta play the role of Mr. Mind Reader can do anything, but also have to make it entertaining. And so I have to start walking a very delicate path. And I go, well, Susan, to do what you're asking, I don't think I could do. I would have to be talking to the person like I am with you. And so would you like to try something right now, Susan? And she said, sure. And actually, I'll do this real quick with you, Jason.
Okay, so here Joe Diamond goes on to show us do you call them tricks? Do you call them illusions? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
It's a trick. Fine, whatever. They're not here.
Okay.
It's a card trick.
If you're listening, Joe Diamond, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I'm going to call it a trick because I don't know what word I'm supposed to use instead of trick. But, okay, so here Joe Diamond illustrates a trick where he is going to show some cards, and then there's some flipping and some guessing and some showing of cards. And it's very interesting. It's very fascinating. If you're one of our Patreon subscribers, you can go to the video of the original conversation and see this amazing card trick. But I'll just tell you that it's pretty neat. It's a magic trick, and it's fantastic. I don't know how Susan responded to this, but again, this is just Susan, right? This is just Susan stuff. I want to know what Susan wanted him to do with his psychic powers.
Yeah. Like, was he going to get recruited?
Exactly.
Was he going to be put at this secret camp? It's like, listen, you have to train.
Yes.
5 secret operatives. Or was Joe going to be the operative?
Yes. Hey, this is Susan from recruitment.
You want a job?
Would you like a job unlocking iPhones with the power of your mind? Hit me up. But I don't think that's what happens. He does do a card trick, and for Susan, who is listening at the Pentagon to a Wisconsin-Illinois border morning radio show. Niche. So niche. But so far, the story has lots of angles. It's got intrigue. It's got drama. It's definitely strange. It's definitely dangerous. Let's see what happens.
There's the intersection of magic, the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Spying.
You're doing something naughty with mind powers.
This is a winner all the way around. Let's keep going.
I turned a card upside down in a deck. And so it was facing the opposite way. I just have a deck here. I turned it upside down, put it on the counter. And I said, Susan, think of a card. Not the ace of spades, not the queen of hearts, but think of any card, concentrate. I went through the deck, turned one card upside down, put it in. And Jason, you do that right now. Think of a card.
Okay, got
not
it.
The ace of spades, not the queen of hearts. And I said, Susan, you're the most secure building on the planet, right? And she said, oh, yeah, absolutely. I said, but think about this. This card exists in your mind, which is the most secure place in the universe. I turned one card over. You didn't see what it was. And now I've got the deck in frame on camera so you can see it. Right, Jason?
Right. Yep.
This is what I did. And they have a live stream in the radio station. So it's a similar kind of thing where I couldn't see her. I said, okay, I've got one card turned over. I want to be committed. It's fair that you're committed too. Say the card out loud. So say the card.
3 of hearts.
3 of hearts. And if I go through the deck, you will in fact see that all the cards really are facing the same way, except for that one right there in the middle. That is the only card I turned over. And that is indeed the 3 of hearts.
That is incredibly impressive.
Which is incredibly impressive.
Was she terrified?
She was very terrified. The problem is the radio show hosts were so impressed by that, they started saying, oh my God, Joe Diamond hacked the Pentagon. Joe Diamond hacked the Pentagon. Joe Diamond hacked the Pentagon. And now I'm thinking, okay, the white vans are definitely coming for me now. I figured backpedal with a card trick, do something with cards, doesn't matter. She thought of it in the most secure building on the planet because I wanted to build that up. Now that I think about it, I don't remember leaving the radio station that morning. However,
you got recruited for the Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yes. However, I was doing my own radio show out of that same building at the time on Sunday nights on a different radio station, but that same building. So I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to come in on Sunday early. I'm going to pull the audio from this. This is career defining. I hacked the Pentagon on live radio. I've got the audio of this. Oh my God.
This is career defining moment for you.
But Jason, I'm not playing you the audio, which
what
I would be.
To the audio.
I showed up on Sunday and it was missing from the archives.
No.
It was gone. Gone.
Okay.
No one at the radio station said they had anything to do with it. They just said, yep, it'll be in there. I called a few tech people. They were like, no, I didn't pull it. No, I didn't save it. No, I didn't delete it. So I don't have it. It's not, I mean, maybe somewhere out there in the archives of something on their live stream RSS from 8 years ago, something, maybe somewhere. But I had thousands of people hear it live on the air. So I literally have thousands of witnesses who heard this happen. And I've got the 2 hosts who were in studio as it happened as well. So I have witnesses, thousands of eyewitness accounts of this happening. I just don't have the audio.
So do you have any theories as to why this happened?
I have been told to just tell this story and end it with, I don't know what happened. I do not know. I think that's the best. I think that's the best for me to say. Everyone can come up with their own theories.
Missing audio. Intrigue.
So here's the hook of the story, right? Like, this is where it gets you.
Yes. Like, the story was strange enough, but this little coda that the evidence of it has been deleted, the timing of it, so incredibly convenient.
Yeah, what happened to it? Who didn't want us to know that Susan at the Pentagon is out here looking for psychics to open phones or looking for somebody to place an order at Quiznos? Like, somebody at the Pentagon is doing psychic stuff.
Yeah. And honestly, they're calling on a radio show and then they cover their tracks. Like, did Susan think, oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this, better send in a team?
Right? What are they doing in there? Finally, Susan's boss was like, look, Susan, it's enough that you get to listen to a radio show while you do your works, while you make your sandwiches, while you watch your Ronald Reagan movies. You're watching your equivalent of the Ronald Reagan movie. You're listening to the Will Rock. But that's where we draw the line, Susan. You can't call in and tell them that we're trying to look for psychics to open iPhones. That's top secret.
You're showing our hands, Susan. What if the Chinese were listening to Will Rock?
Come on, Susan. So then they've got to send like a black suburban crew into the wilds of a border town to mysteriously retrieve all the evidence.
So is Joe lucky that he didn't get black bagged and thrown into a van?
Are we going to get black bagged and thrown in a van? Because now we know the story too. Is everybody out there cursed?
Don't listen. Don't listen, everyone. Turn it off. Delete it.
Susan from the Pentagon is on to you. Anyway, this story is definitely strangerous and makes for a really creepy tale. But there's all kinds of stuff about the government trying to use magic powers, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There were so many things of them trying to get remote viewing working. It is a big part, of course, tied very closely to Arrow, ATIP, or whatever you call it, Project Blue Book, all of the alien stuff. They were allegedly using remote viewing to spy into like UFO research facilities in the Soviet Union. I know it sounds a little crazy when I put it like that.
I mean, I can believe that the Soviets were trying that. You know what I mean? Like, I can believe that Soviets were out here trying to use magic and witchcraft for like military gains, but it's harder for me to believe that. I mean, picture the Bourne Identity cast, right? Like that whole thing where all the experts are around the TV screens and the projections, and they're bringing like manila folders over to each other. Like, here you go, Captain. Here are the dossier on the psychics of the Wisconsin and Illinois region. And it's Susan, right? It's Susan. Susan's holding the dossier. And her boss is like, Susan, thank Christ you brought us all the information on the psychics. We need this for our military warfare. The Soviets are so far ahead. I don't believe it.
What if when Susan called, it wasn't just Susan at her desk? She was actually calling from one of the situation rooms.
Oh, my God.
Like, Bourne Identity. Like David Strathairn is sitting there just going, oh, everyone, we have confirmation. It was the Three of Hearts. It was the Three of Hearts.
We have confirmation. We have confirmation. Joe Diamond is on the radio show, and he is doing psychic shit. Call in the extraction team.
I'm going to need a full breakdown on everything that's going on at this Will Rock station. I'm going to need their full playlist and how many times they have played Red Hot Chili Peppers per hour for the last 6 weeks. We may have to call in an airstrike. We just don't know yet.
How many milkmen are in the area? Who are they having sex with?
It was one of those things where it's like, you don't wake up in the morning and go, yeah, I'm going to do this today. Yeah, it happened. And again, I've got the eyewitness accounts. I've got the people, and I've had people say to me, oh, I tuned in for that one, or, oh, I remember that one occasionally. But yeah, it's something that I still like think back on and go like, do I try to see if Susan's real? Do I see if I like get a quote from her? Do I get like, do I try? Do I do something? I don't know what to do in this situation. So I just promote it. I use it in my promo. I say apparently, and I always say without a computer. I say I did it with my brain. It's disclaimered and you know, up the wazoo. And the fact that I can still do it, I can do this. You know, and I do this in my shows, so it does work out from that regard. And what's funny is since then I have figured out how to do it with like actual pin codes and stuff too. So I probably could have done something like that since then, a long distance. But again, like since then I have tread lightly. So in shows I'll have people think of like make up a pin code or something like that because. You know, and let's just say it has nothing to do with me. Let's say just that person, you know, gets hacked 2 weeks later. Oh, well, you know, that guy at the mind reading show, he unlocked my phone, you know? So it's like, because it is very satisfying to be standing on stage, holding someone's phone, having them think of digit by digit, typing it in, and then the phone opens. Like, it's a very satisfying and theatrical moment. And also as a mind reader, rather than traditional magic, you don't get a lot of ta-da moments. You just get a lot of people saying, yes, that's right, or no, that's wrong.
So I really like Joe's caution with this because he is not underestimating some people in thinking, oh man, I might get blamed for this. How do I explain to people when I'm doing this trick that it is just a trick and that I have not compromised their security whatsoever.
You probably have to disclaim pretty hard as a mind reader. But then again, if you're submitting your mind to be read, no holds barred. Like, you're saying, read my mind. I think that's kind of a you problem.
Yeah, but then, like, weeks later, something starts going wrong with somebody's phone, like he said, and then they say, oh, well, that mind reader, he did something to my phone. And so suddenly, you're getting served papers because someone is suing you for violating their privacy, something like that, where, oh, he got into my phone. And so now you have to sit there and go in front of a judge and tell people, no, you idiots. It's a trick. It's a trick.
Well, I don't know that legally being not smart is a defense. Like, I think legally it doesn't matter. But we've already established that the government is super into psychic shit now. They're out here trying to get psychic shit. So maybe this is a court case. And there was a story that came out recently that they put a man in an MRI and then reconstituted a Pink Floyd song out of his fucking memory. So,
oh yeah,
I guess machines can read your mind now. And if machines can read your mind, the government is going to really want to know that, because what if you're planning on fucking milkmen? Or what if you're planning on, I don't know, stamp fraud? I don't know if that's a thing. Is that a thing? Stamp fraud?
Oh, it's huge. The stamp fraud cartels, big deal.
Yes,
it's a big
fraud.
Deal. Yeah. I really believe that with AI and MRIs and so forth, just based on everything that I've read about AI being able to interpret MRIs and CAT scans and so forth, I think we're about 10 years from legitimately needing tinfoil hats.
Oh my gosh, tinfoil hats. That's a thing that we used to say to make fun of people on the streets, but it turns out they're reading your thoughts, man.
Now it seems reasonable.
Whoa. Let's just sum up. Let's sum up Joe's story. So Joe goes on to a morning radio show. He's doing his usual mentalism stuff where he is talking about reading your mind. He reiterates that he is a person known for cracking open your phone by guessing your PIN code. And everybody loves Joe Diamond for this. They hand him their grody toilet phones and he opens them on stage. It's a very wonderful aha moment. And he's now doing it for these radio hosts. And the radio hosts are like, oh, very well, let's take some calls. And then maybe you can open strangers' iPhones by guessing their PIN. And then in calls Susan from the Pentagon. Susan from the Pentagon. Oh my gosh, are you serious? And they research it. Susan is in fact, yes, from the Pentagon. We don't know in what capacity Susan is from the Pentagon, but Susan's from the Pentagon. And she says, oh, I watch you all the time. I'm given special allowance to listen to the show because I'm Susan and I'm in the Pentagon. And they're like, oh, okay, yes, Susan, you may listen to the show. Susan says, crack open an iPhone. That is controversial. But Joe Diamond, the savvy mentalist that he is like, how about a card trick instead, Susan? And Susan's like, okay, I guess I'll settle for a card trick. So then he does the card trick. It's amazing. And he points out to Susan, not only did I get inside of the Pentagon for secret knowledge, I got inside of your brain in the Pentagon for this secret knowledge. Oh my God. And then the radio hosts put 2 and 2 together to make 4. And 4 equals Joe Diamond has, quote unquote, allegedly hacked the Pentagon without a computer. And this is amazing. Oh my God, it's so entertaining. But then Joe comes in later to get the footage so that he can promo the shit out of it. Because of course you would. Joe Diamond hacked the Pentagon. But here's the plot twist. Here's the what the fuck moment. The footage is missing. What happened to the footage?
Blum, blum, blum.
Why does the government want Joe Diamond? What is Susan doing at the Pentagon?
Besides making sandwiches at Jersey Mike's.
Possibly. So this is a wonderful Strangerous story, and I love it. It has all the elements. It's strange. It's dangerous. And exploring it here with you today was a whole lot of fun. High five.
If Susan called you back, if Susan called you back and said, your country needs you, we need you to figure out some 4-digit passcodes, would you use your uncanny abilities in the employment of the United States government?
Who says she hasn't? And if she had, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Perfect answer. Perfect answer. Joe Diamond, can you please tell everyone where we can find more of your diabolical behavior?
JoeDiamondLive.com and at Joe Diamond Live on all social media platforms.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Thank you.
Hey there, this is Em. Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. We had a great time recording it. We hoped you had fun listening. And if you'd like more information on The Strangerous, you can check us out at youtube.com/The Strangerous or stop by our Substack, thestrangerous.substack.com. If you like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, get notifications, all that stuff, you'll be helping the channel and you'll stay up to date on all of the cool stuff we do. Our Patreon subscribers get benefits like salons with special guests, input into what we film and talk about on our channel, and a community of very cool, curious folks. And check back wherever you got this podcast to find our next episode. And we want to hear from you. Do you have a stranger's tale? Have you come into some strange or dangerous knowledge that you just can't wait to share? Message us on Instagram at the.strangerous. We can't wait for you and your friends to join us in our strangers community. See you soon.
Let's go. Let's go have some sexy times with a milkman. Let's go.
Let's not. Let's not.
I'm gonna see if there's a sexy milkman subreddit where they
Craigslist.
Pantsless milkmen. And if there's a lemon post, you know what that means.
It means
sex. There's going to be sex happening.
If it's on Craigslist, it's definitely sex.
Oh, yeah.